Hello, everyone. You're all very welcome to Underground Cinema. We're just days away from the 16th Underground Cinema Award. Sorry, the 15th Underground. It feels like the 16th. I'm doing so many interviews lately. The 15th Underground Cinema Awards are going to take place this Saturday in the Royal Bahrain Hotel in Dunleary. It looks like it's just going to be a fantastic event. We've so many people coming to the hotel on Saturday night. We have a great contingency from Northern Ireland coming down as well this year, which is fantastic. And this morning, I've got Zoe Carlin with me, whose film A Quare Racket has been nominated in the Best Comedy section. You're very welcome, Zoe. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's I really enjoyed the film, and I'll tell you why I enjoyed it so much in a second. But well done to your cast and your crew. They did a great job. It's a 6-minute short, but it really hits the button. Can you tell us all about it, Zoe? What the short is all about?
A Quare Racket is basically about a group of teenagers who are trying to get a little bit famous, and decide that the best way to do that is by bringing the local legend of a banshee kind of back. So they get an actor, they set up a whole thing, and during the rehearsals things aren't going well, and a farmer interrupts them, and it's basically how they cope and deal with that and what goes on behind the scenes. Basically, it's like a little bit of a joke on filmmakers as well.
Yeah, you've got you've got 4 actors that are very good. The sort of 3 main actors in it, and they're super. The comic timing is great. Can you tell me where did you meet up? Are these friends of yours, or did you have to go through a casting process or anything?
No, we found them all online through different kind of casting processes. I've never worked with any of them before, so it was really, really wonderful to get such amazing talent and really get to know them. And because of the way it kind of worked out, we were all kind of from all over the place. So I'm from Derry originally. Patty, the writer, is from Armagh. Matthew, our producer's from Belfast. And then our actors were from Lurgan, Belfast, and Dublin. So we got a little bit of funding for this, and the very first thing that went on was getting the cast at Airbnb. So the 3 of them kind of had the first day to get to know each other, and then went to the Airbnb that night. And then by the time we got to do the fields the next night, they had already spent a whole day together, had a bit of banter, and that kind of really worked to make the field kind of scene work the best, because they had a kind of dynamic going on already. They were slagging each other and having a laugh. So it was all just really natural.
Wow. That's great to hear, because you've really succeeded in this, because when I watched it, I had the feeling these guys know each other for years. They must be students that work together. They're great. That the chemistry between everybody here is fantastic.
Good. It's so good. I think the thing that really, really worked is Keelan is very energetic and enthusiastic anyway. And then whenever he came up, Joanne is quite the same. And there was some kind of basically sheep got on the train tracks coming up from Belfast. So there was a whole travel situation, and that kind of lightened the mood when everybody came in. So everybody was kind of laughing about that, and they were all very relaxed and settled. And then because we were a little bit behind in production because of getting stuff set up, because some of our crew had only been able to get on about 20 minutes before instead of an hour before, they had a bit to get to know each other and have a laugh in the cafe. So by the time we actually got to start filming and stuff, they had already had this kind of laugh about the travel and getting to know and relax. And Jack and Keelan actually got to know each other on the train up, sorry. So it was they were settled by the time they got there.
Yeah, well, look, I thought the 3 of them were brilliant. The chemistry between them all was very good. The dialogue, the lines was nice and snappy and punchy, which was great. They seemed to bounce off each other really well. So the performances were fantastic for a comedy. I chuckled, I enjoyed it. And then I was thinking to myself, because this is shot, most of the film is shot at night. It's which isn't easy sometimes. When it comes to lighting as well, but you got that bang on as well. Your crew did a great job, in particular your DOP and whoever did the lighting.
Yeah, that lighting was actually Will, who is a great cinematographer. I've kind of worked with him on a bunch of different stuff as an AD from my perspective, and he's been kind of doing sound and camera and stuff. And I kind of messaged him and was like, look, we're doing this thing. I'm a first-time director, but I know you have a lot of experience. Would you be willing to help me out? And he was like, yep, I have a camera that's actually really good at night. So that was just like a couple of torches, surprisingly, and some careful positioning, but it just worked out really, really, really well. Like, I couldn't have done it without him, though. He was...
Well, look, well, there you go. You know, he has the experience behind him there, so so he knew it was going to work even with torches. And you're right, with the correct camera angles. Who's your DOP?
William Aiden.
Yeah, he was very, very good with the you know, with the correct angles. You know, it's really difficult sometimes to shoot in the dark. You know, I think he did a great job. And sound. Who did your sound?
Pablo O'Connor Pozo. So both me and him were cine. We both worked on a cine scheme together, and that was the first time we met. And he came to me and he was like, I'm a sound guy, I do sound. And I was like, well, that's great. I don't know a sound guy. Do you want to be in a film?
Right. So I didn't know this. So this was your first time directing a short film, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How did you find the whole thing?
It was really fun and great and wonderful. I had like done like university student projects and things like that. And then I had AD'd quite a lot. I actually AD'd for Sean Coyle. He did Communion last year.
Oh, yeah, he was brilliant. Brilliant short film.
Yeah, so I'd AD'd for him a couple of times, and that's kind of where I met Will. And I kind of knew what was going on the set and kind of how to get it done. And then because me, Patty, and Matthew, we've all worked together at university like a lot. It's just been the three of us since first year. It just kind of fell really naturally that it didn't even feel like it was my first time directing. And then whenever you're finished, I was like, oh yeah, that was.
Yeah.
That was.
Well, you know, when you surround yourself with really good people, you know, the end product has got to be fantastic. And that's what you've done. You know, some people find, you know, their first time directing quite nerve-wracking or daunting. It seems to me that you had a ball.
I had a great time. The best part about it was we were filming in this like field down on literally the border between Bridgend, and it was completely dark way up the back. And basically, halfway through it, somebody must have called the police. So the guard had come up and we're trying to see if we were having a party in a field. And then I come down and we're all wearing high-vis because we wanted to be sure we could see everybody. And I come down running in the high-vis jackets, and the guards were like, can we be on the film at all? And I was like, yeah, sure. He's doing 2 o'clock in the morning. Hi.
Very good. I'll tell you why the film resonated with me so much, because I don't know if you'd be very young to remember, but back in the 80s in the South, there was the moving statue phenomenon.
Yeah.
So you had a couple of, I can't remember the location. There was a number of locations, but one location, these people saw a statue of the Virgin Mary moving, and they started popping up all over the country at various different grottos around the country. This was huge because it brought so many people were traveling from near and far to the grotto to see the statue move. And I'm sure the little towns and villages around the place were making a fortune in their cafes and their shops and their memorabilia. And I just sort of hit a note with me. It's very, very, very familiar to something that I experienced back in the 80s. Did you ever hear about those stories?
Not really, but the way it kind of worked out is Patty's from kind of small town Armagh, and then my granddad is actually a tour guide. So we were having these kind of conversations about the film going on, and we were like, why would people do this? What would go on? And we were like, oh, we'll do like a thing about a boosty tourism and make it this whole thing about like small town Ireland, local legend, get a banshee, have a laugh. And that kind of went on. But weirdly enough, when we actually finished the film, we went up to like give Phil his costume back. He was our farmer for the night. And we were talking to a taxi driver, and the taxi driver was like, do you know I pulled a banshee? We got our English teacher and we had a guard on a mop. And we did it in the field, and we scared our English teacher because he was a bastard. That's a quote for quote.
I think everyone in Ireland has a story about the banshee.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, this year, you wouldn't believe it. Actually, I didn't count your film. Actually, there are 6 films in this year that are all they're based on Irish mythology. And I forgot to add yours in there. That's 7. It's a comic version of the Banshee. So I just thought it was great. Just with regard to the running time, it's bang on. It's 6 minutes. That's a film festival programmer's dream, really. When you get a film in that is 6 minutes, short, snappy, to the point, good cast, good crew, good direction, great storyline. I've no doubt that this film will do very well on the festival circuit.
Yeah, we've kind of been starting everything's kind of picked up now. So we've done the Jane Austen, but because I had heard about this from Sean Coyle last year, I was like, I really, really want to put my name in for the Underground Film Festival. I was like, it looked amazing. I really need to put it in. So it was me patiently scrolling to the Facebook and the Film Freeway waiting for like the upload date. And then I was like, okay, it's here. Let's go.
Yeah. It's bang on, because like we love stuff like this that comes into us, but when it comes to a live film festival, films like this are perfect for a film programmer. I've no doubt. Like, have you submitted it to many film festivals on the island of Ireland?
Yeah, a couple. I would say we're waiting to hear back from a lot of them, because it's kind of just that kind of season where everything kind of trickles in now until Christmas. But we've been really running around and trying to get it places. The way it kind of worked was we applied through a scheme with the BFI and the Nerve Centre in Derry, and the Nerve Centre basically funded the film for us as part of their project, and that meant that our premiere was actually the Foyle Film Festival. So that was the very first time it was seen. So we got to have ourselves in the Foyle Film Festival during like the BFI section of it, and it was just this big shock of, oh my God, we're in the Foyle Film Festival. It's our first film and we're in the Foyle Film Festival.
Well, I mean, Foyle is such a prestigious film festival. To get in there is fantastic. And also, it's great. It's great that you receive funding, because making short films, it's expensive. You got to look after your cast, your crew, your travel, your food, all the things that you don't really see on the screen. You have to look after everybody. So to get the funding would have been great, Zoe.
Yeah, I'd say we won 2nd place for that competition. And then obviously, like, we got a bit of funding, and then we all kind of pitched in, and we were all like, we're doing this properly. We need to get everything sorted. So it was just really this wonderful experience where because me, Patty, and Matthew have worked together so like long, because we knew each other, it was very like, okay, you do this and I do this, and we get this sorted. And there was like complete and total trust on who was organizing everything and where money went, and everything got really, really well organized. And it just meant that the film went really, really, really smoothly. Like, right. There was no issues. It was wonderful.
How many days did it take to shoot?
2.
Wow, that's great. Did you go over budget?
Oh yeah. We won 500 for making with the BFI, and then we all had to contribute like our own, because like just the accommodation for actors was like 400, and we were like, well, we need our actors here. That's the most important part. So let's go that, and then we'll get everything else as we go.
So did you finance the rest of the film yourselves, or between you guys?
Between the 3 of us, we financed it.
Wait, did you ever consider maybe doing a fundraising campaign, or fund it or anything like that?
Not really. It was kind of because we had that bit of funding behind us, and because we knew it was going to the Foyle Film Festival, we were able to like kind of get a crew and cast by putting that up and saying, look, we only have a small amount of money to offer, like in terms of payment, but we know for a fact it's going to be the Foyle Film Festival, first time director. And because I have like worked in the film community for a while, there was a lot of goodwill, especially around Derry, because I've just been in and out of doing AD for people and helping out with people. So there was like a lot of support, and it just kind of worked. Even though we were self-financing, it never really occurred to me to do a Kickstarter, but it felt like that would have made the process longer, and we were just like, we only have 3 months to get this done.
Yeah, like you had the goodwill of the people that you surround yourself with, which is fantastic. So that was great. your actress, I got a great laugh out of her, Joanne. Did you
Wonderful.
tell me she's from Dublin? Yeah.
Yeah, she's from. Sorry, she's going to batter me. She's from Bray. She's just outside of Dublin. So
I know. I used to live there for a good few years in Bray. I know
yeah.
because I just picked up on her accent when I was watching it. I said she sounds like a dub to me. So
Oh, she's
how did you?
phenomenal.
She's great.
Oh,
She's really great. Her comedy timing's superb. And I'm just thinking, right, this is shot in Northern Ireland, and you got a girl traveling all the way from Bray up to the north.
yeah.
Did you just find her online, was it, or how did you find her?
I basically made a bunch of casting calls and was in
Okay.
like Film Ireland, then I cast in Ireland, every casting thing I could put up that was in. And we got like a couple of people who were like getting back to us. And Joanne actually sent us a video because we gave everybody a script to like send an online audition. And Joanne wore a costume. And instantly we were like, oh my God, she's put an effort. She's wearing a costume. And it was her. And I think she said it was her auntie. We're doing the lines off screen. And immediately we were like, she's so funny. We need her.
Yeah.
And we were like, she's far away. We're going to have to definitely get her accommodation, but we need her. She needs to be the one that has to come up for this because she's so talented and so funny. And the effort she put in just for that audition tape alone was like the best thing we'd ever seen.
She must have made a huge impression to get somebody up for a low budget film all the way from Bray up to Belfast. To do a short. She must have really must have really caught her eye. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She was just, it was so wonderful and she was so alive and vibrant. And then when you met her, you were like, you're great for this. You're the best person we could have got for this. And like I said, her and Keelan just seemed to have this kind of like instant spark where like the minute we got there, they were slagging each other. And I was like, that's exactly what we need, is this kind of like banter dynamic going on. And it just was like, oh, some magic's happening. Go behind the camera. Let's get this.
Yeah. Like back in my day, right? So I'm in the arts now a long time, over 30 years. So my background would have been theatre and then of the film. So back in my day, for if you were looking for an actor, it was an audition. So it was in front of you, somebody was reading the script, and it's changed an awful lot over the years. Now everybody's sending clips into you by video. Do you like that? Do you find that you can actually it's easier to cast something if people send in video clips rather than trying to arrange 20 actors coming up from all over the country? Do you find the online does it work for you? Or would you prefer to sit down face to face?
I also have like a theater background, so I do quite like the idea of seeing face to face. But we kind of me, Patty, and Matthew, we all kind of had met each other, and then we were in COVID. So the kind of making films together through COVID experience was like our introduction to making films. So it kind of was the only way we could. And I've adapted it now, and I really like the idea that I can get people from Bray to apply for something in the area, and they don't have to travel, and they don't have all that work. And I think I would always have that as an option. But if I could do more like live, I would love to do them live. But it's a lot easier to do it online, and you still get to know the people.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very similar to you now. We both have theatrical backgrounds, so it's very when you're doing a play. I think doing a play is very different to doing a film. I think you really do have to have the people around you sitting around the table when you're doing a play. Your very first reading of a script. It's great to have everybody around the table, and you'd ask about 4 or 5 different people to read the same role, just to hear the different approaches. So I think in theatre, it's very difficult to do what we do in film now. I think it's better around the table. But in film, I think you can get away with it, to send a show reel, or to do, to send a piece and say, come back to us. Here's a 2 minutes from the script. Come back to us with your best interpretation of the character. And I think it does work. It can work. And I think it does work very well online.
Yeah, like we were actually very lucky. The place that we filmed the cafe scenes, which was the first shots, It was where I was working at the time. It was a place called Studio 2. And they actually are like a youth theatre program group. So our green room was actually the stage where all the productions went. So when we were practicing our lines and doing the table reading, we were actually on a stage for theatre to go out to the cafe. So I think that kind of helped our actors get into that kind of mindset very quickly, because we had the stage lights on, everybody was running around getting the stuff, but I was able to sit with them on the stage and go through the lines and practice how we would do things in that kind of theatre setting first before we went out to the cafe. And I think that kind of brought into their mind, because they all have theatrical backgrounds as well. And I think that kind of helped them get the tone and
Yeah.
get really serious about it, because I think that kind of made them go, oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing now. I've reset. I'm in a theatre.
Yeah, I love that approach, Zoe. You know, both of us coming from theatre, so I think you've two types of actors. You know, you've got theatre actors and you've got film actors, and both brilliant, but they're two different crafts. And I have to say, I love working with theatre actors in film, because they
Yeah.
bring an awful lot to it. They can bring an awful lot of depth into it. I produced a film years ago called In View, a feature film, and the actress was she was absolutely uh, superb. Keelan was her name. She and she was nominated for an IFTA for a performance but she was a theatre actress, and she brought so much to that character, stuff that I just maybe mightn't have been able to get out of with an actor that would be used to just the set all the time. She asked me she asked so many questions. She wanted to rehearse. She wanted to, we workshopped a few scenes with her. And I think, if you do have some sort of theatre background, it really can help you as an actor. I'd recommend it to all actors to give theatre, if you're thinking about getting into film, definitely give theatre a go.
Yeah, I think it works so great for comedy, because a lot of theatre actors have the kind of body language that they need to be seen on a small stage. So they all kind of overperform. And I think when you put that into a comedy film, it kind of just brings this like life to it and this kind of very vibrant tone where it's like a little bit larger than life, and it works really well. I think Joanne especially has mostly done theatre, and it worked so wonderfully with the
Yeah.
way everything flowed, and it was just
You're right about comedy, because I mean, I'm again, God, we're supposed to be talking about film, but we're talking about theatre here. But you're right. So I was thinking about another show I did a good few years ago. It was called Bouncers, by John Godber. Four guys on stage together, but it's comedy. But it's lightning fast. The lines are very, very, very fast and funny. When I was watching your film, the dialogue is just bang, 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 bang,
yeah.
bang. It's the timing of it is great, and I think that's if you're a theatre actor, that sort of background, about learning lines, rehearsing it over and over till you're bang on.
Yeah.
That comes across on the screen. It comes across really well.
Yeah, I was really lucky. I was able to rehearse with them as much as I did, because it was quite 2 days short film rush. But I was able to go over everything and kind of get the tone. And they were like, do you want me to interrupt? Do you want me to wait till the lines are done? What's going on? And it just kind of worked, where by the time the camera started rolling, they had done the arguments and the bickering but 7 or 8 times. And they were just bang, 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 bang. And the flow of it worked incredibly well. And you like didn't want to interrupt them. You were like, there would be something on the back in the camera and stuff, and you'd be like, oh, we're going to fix that, but let them get this argument done first, because it's like so great to watch. You just got pulled on by them and their chemistry. It was wonderful.
Brilliant. So what are you up to now at the moment, Zoe? Have you got anything on the cards? Are you writing anything at all? Or are you going to direct anything else? Or
We're kind of looking to move a little bit in the horror direction at the minute. So we have a script sitting. I think me, Patty, and Matthew are pretty much a solid unit when it comes to the independent now. I don't think any of us want to let anybody go, because we all fill gaps that the other person doesn't have the information for. I just was on a Cine scheme there, and Patty was on another production just shooting over the border, and Mike was on a similar cinema scheme. And the three of us just, I think, are trying to get our foot in the door and trying to get everything made. But I don't think we'll ever stop making films. Like, it's just, I think we found our unit and we found it very young, and we all work well together. And I just don't think we're ever going to stop.
Yeah. You know what? About when we first started at Underground Cinema 15 years ago, all the films that were submitted to us were from the Republic of Ireland. And over the past, say, seven or probably 6 or 7 years, work had started coming through to us from Northern Ireland. It's been increasing hugely. We're getting a huge number of films in from Northern Ireland, and the standard and the production values is absolutely excellent. So much so, I was talking to a great friend of mine. It's a filmmaker in the south here. His name is Alan Dunn. We did an interview like this, and we ended up doing 50 minutes. So you couldn't shut us up talking about this. We were talking about filmmakers in Northern Ireland, how good they are, you know, and you can there's subtle differences between what filmmakers in the north and filmmakers in the south do, you know. And I was talking to Alan about this there recently, and we were talking about maybe what we should be thinking about is collaboration between the north and the south with filmmakers on both sides of the border. I think it'd be fantastic.
Oh, it'd be wonderful. It'd be one of the best things. I've done small collaborations kind of before, just because the Donegal border is so close. So I've worked with some filmmakers from Donegal, have done let's go over the border to get like a nice thing. But I think the more cross programs and the way we work and flow, I think we can really make something wonderful, because there's so much talent here, and we're very grassroots. And I think we all, the filmmakers especially, both here and across the border, have like this solidarity where it's like, look, we're not Hollywood, we're not London, we're not anything that has big money, but we are going to make a good film, and we are going to make a good film. And that's just what it is. Like, everybody that's here and is doing it for a passion, and it comes across so well. And I think that allows us to work together so well and have a bit of laugh. And it's just like, it feels great to work with people. Do you know what I mean? It's just, there's always a flow. And
I was talking to, I did an interview with Niamh McAllister, so we have a look at it. It's on Spotify. Niamh and I were talking about the exact same thing, and Niamh is up for a couple of awards. She's up for a Rising Star Award. Niamh's from Northern Ireland as well, and she's up for a Rising Star Award. I'll make the introductions when you're down in Dublin on Saturday. But Niamh also does stand-up comedy as well, so she's got a great sense of humour. And we were talking about what we're talking about now. And Niamh said to me, she said, we've just invented the peace process for filmmakers in Ireland. She said, if we can pull this off.
It'd be wonderful. That's the end of the more collaboration and the more working together, the better it will be.
Well, you know what? At Underground Cinema in Dublin, this will be your first time coming down to us, and we can't wait to see you guys come down to see us. But what we've noticed over the years, there have been many occasions where somebody has been sitting at the table at the awards beside a complete stranger. They get talking, and then they meet a couple of weeks later, and within a year, they've made a film together and they've submitted the film into us. So a lot of collaborations have been made at Underground Cinema over the years, and who knows what's going to happen on Saturday.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a great night, and I'll make the introductions as well. My good friend Alan Dunn will be there. He's up for a number of awards this year, so he's a very talented writer, director, and cinematographer. So I think that's what I'll be doing. I'll be making a lot of the introductions later on in the bar to everybody.
Great to hear it. That's what you need.
Well, look, so I'm going to wrap it up now. Listen, thanks so much for joining me today. We're absolutely delighted that you got the nod for your film. I got a great laugh out of it. I have no doubt it's going to be great on the film festival circuit, and I can't wait to see what you guys are going to be doing next.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Zoe, take care now.
Talk later. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.